been a long road from here to there.
That was David's rendition of the Enterprise theme. Hello and welcome to Tomorrow is Yesterday, the Star Trek podcast, the show where we review every episode of Star Trek in production order. My name is Brandon Couch. With me, as always, introduce yourself, David.
I am Lando Calrissian.
Wrong franchise. How do I usually start this?
So what are we talking about today? The Man Trap, wasn't it?
Yes.
So you got any funny anecdotes while we're waiting on
Anecdotes.
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 Wrong franchise.
What?
I said wrong franchise.
Yeah, I know what you said. It just didn't make sense.
Oh, by the way, I'm David Moss. Because we never did actually say my name.
Yes, that is David Moss. Alright, today we're talking about The Man Trap, which is an episode of Star Trek, a franchise owned by Paramount, a company currently being struck by both the Writers Guild of America and the Screen Actors Guild because they can't pay their actors or writers enough to live, but yet somehow miraculously paid their CEO $32 million last year.
I wish I got paid $32 million.
Yeah, that's my little soapbox. Paramount sucks right now. But we're still going to talk about it, because we're not actors.
I mean, I'm not. You might be.
I'm not either.
If I was, I'd be like an extra in a costume that died like 30 seconds into the episode.
So you'd be a red shirt.
I wouldn't even be in a red shirt. I would be in an alien costume.
You'd be in an alien costume.
The dog from last episode would get more screen time than I would.
That dog got so much screen time.
I know. So much.
Alright, so The Man Trap first aired on... No, my notes disappeared. Okay, The Man Trap first aired on September 8th, 1966, although in reality it was September 6th because Canada got it 2 days before we did.
What?
Yes.
I guess I'm moving to Canada, eh?
It was written by George Clayton Johnson and directed by Mark Daniels. Let's get into the cast. So we have Jean Ball as Nancy Crater, or at least who we think is Nancy Crater. Dun dun dun.
Foreshadowing. No, I'm joking.
We have Alfred Ryder as Robert Crater. We have Bruce Watson as Green, the red shirt wearing gold. We have Michael Zaslow as Darnell, the red shirt wearing blue.
So we might as well get the red shirt count up and ready because it's gonna be heavy this week.
You say that, but no one who died was actually wearing a red shirt. I did keep track of it though, so I do have the count.
I just want to start adding to it.
We have Vince Howard as Uhura's crewman, Francine Pine as the blonde Nancy,
The blonde Nancy,
and Sandra Gimple as the salt vampire, who we last saw as one of the Telosians in the cage.
Okay.
Yeah, so the person who was wearing the big monster costume was in the cage as one of the Telosians.
I didn't know that they called it assault vampire, but I was like, that'd be a good name for that, assault vampire.
I was watching it with my wife, and while we were watching it, early into it, she's like, "Is she like a salt vampire?" And I was like, "Yes, this is actually known as the salt vampire episode."
So I was watching with my 6-year-old, and he was he jumped in halfway through, and he was like, "Hey, that guy keeps changing people." Very confused by it. And I was like, "Oh, he changes shapes." And he's like, "A person's not a shape." I'm like, "Yes, it is." He's like, "No." I'm like, "It's like Ditto from Pokemon." And he's like, "He changes into Pokemon?" And I was like, "No." So
that's funny.
Yeah, so try explaining that to a 6-year-old.
When I was younger and I was obese, one of my doctors, while I was at a physical, was being a smart aleck and be like, "You're in shape, right?" And my dad's like, "Yeah, round's a shape." So people are shapes.
Yup.
Alright. We open with the shot of the Enterprise and a captain's log. Captain's log. Stardate 1513.1. Our position. orbiting planet M113. On board the Enterprise, Mr. Spock temporarily in command.
Wait, the planet does not have a name?
Nope, it has a letter and a number.
Like it's not Rigel 15 or
Nope.
Ryza 6?
I've been noticing that a lot lately, actually. I think next week's episode is also like a number.
Huh.
On the planet, the ruins of an ancient and long dead civilization, ship surgeon McCoy and myself are now beaming down to the planet's surface. Our mission: routine medical examination of archaeologist Robert Crater and his wife, Nancy. Routine, but for the fact that Nancy Crater is that one woman in Dr. McCoy's past.
Dun, dun, dun. I do like how we might have not gotten to this part yet. It's like right in this area where Kirk is like, "Where's your flowers?" And McCoy's like, "I don't bribe women."
I like that part too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, women expect something like that. Oh, is that how you get girls like you? Bribery.
Yeah.
That was a good line. All right, so Kirk, McCoy, and Darnell, who's totally gonna survive this?
No. Like everybody who's ever watched any Star Trek knows this random guy with no name is not going to survive.
He has a name. His name is Darnell.
Okay, this random guy that you've never seen before, and he's just there.
Well, yes, if you're not a member of the main cast and you go to a planet, you're gonna die.
Yeah.
That's a given.
Yeah.
All right, so they beam down to the planet. My next note was about that bribery line.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're good. Like, you are totally good. All right, so they go inside to the crater's quarters. McCoy's nervous, says he hasn't seen Nancy in 10 years. Nancy walks in and reunites with McCoy, who then introduces her to Kirk, who sees a different version of Nancy, this one with gray hair.
Okay, so my question here, this is going to kind of lead into the rest of the episode.
Okay.
But my question here is, she's a shapeshifter, right?
Yes.
The way her shape changes so fast in front of their eyes, how does that happen?
Well, it's not that it's like, so I think it's like a telepathy type thing. Like McCoy is seeing the young Nancy, and Kirk is seeing the gray Nancy. And as we'll find out, Darnell is seeing a completely different blonde woman. So that's just like the shapeshift projecting into their different brains.
So yeah,
That's how I got it.
Okay, that would make sense. And that's what I was kind of thinking, but then on the Enterprise where they're actually changing shape, like it took longer for them to change shape, I was like, well, how are they doing it so quick, like in front of everybody?
So yeah, I think it's a mind thing.
Okay.
Where was she? Alright, yeah. Kirk sees the one with gray hair. I think they're showing their hand a little early here. Like, we immediately know something's up. I think it would be more interesting if, like, we found out later that something was up.
Yeah.
Then we see from Darnell's perspective that she's a young blonde. Darnell, who can't keep his mouth shut, says she looks like someone he knew on Wrigley's Pleasure Planet.
I've never heard of that place.
Yeah. McCoy snaps at him. Darnell starts apologizing, trying to take his foot out of his mouth, and Kirk, showing mercy, asks him to wait outside. Kirk's about to step outside when Nancy says, "And leave me and Plum all alone?" So apparently McCoy's nickname is Plum. Then Nancy goes...
We're gonna start calling him that.
Dr. Plum.
Dr. Plum.
Oh no, was McCoy in Clue? Then Nancy goes to get Professor Crater. Outside, young blonde Nancy acts all seductive and lures Darnell away. And that's the teaser.
Whoop, whoop.
So what did you think of the teaser?
You know, it was alright. I kind of digged it.
Yeah, I didn't like it. I thought the teaser was really boring.
So,
like, here's what I'm going to say. I think it would be more interesting that if instead of, like, seeing the three different Nancys and being like, oh, something's weird, that if the teaser actually ended with Darnell's death. Like, at the point Darnell dies, if the teaser was, if they just rearranged the scenes and that's how the teaser ended, that would have been more an interesting teaser.
I feel like this episode, like usual, you and I are going to have very different opinions on this. Because I feel like I'm getting the gist that you don't really care for this episode too much.
No, I actually like this episode.
Okay. Well, then I'm wrong. Because I love the episode.
I just didn't like the teaser.
I liked it.
Oh, actually, one thing that I apparently didn't write on my notes that I want to mention, that this was actually the first episode of Star Trek they ever aired. So this is the first Star Trek anyone ever saw.
Yeah, I noticed it was number 2 on Paramount.
Yeah, because they have the cage on there as number 1. But like, yeah, this is
Right.
the first that anyone ever saw.
Which I noticed also they had the date on Paramount for the cage, the exact same date as this one.
Which is weird because that very much is not when it aired.
Yeah.
Like, that episode aired like during Next Generation.
Yeah.
Ironically, because of a writer's strike, which we're currently in.
I mean, the writer strike is probably going to affect a lot of Star Trek going forward.
And the actor strike, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they're saying if they don't start filming within a month for Strange New Worlds, it'll be pushed back to at least 2025.
2025, dang.
Which is gonna suck because the ending.
It ended on a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, like a lot of Hollywood and things are going to get pushed back because of this and get affected. And we're going to get a lot of crappy, what's the word I'm looking for? Reality television.
Yeah.
Although lately I heard that reality stars are trying to, like, get in on the union and go on strike themselves.
Huh.
Because apparently they're also being screwed by the residuals and all the things the actors are currently being screwed by. And VFX artists working for Marvel like have just or are about to vote to like try to unionize themselves too.
Huh.
Which like yeah, go.
Yeah.
Get your money.
Yeah.
All right, so
we're not gonna have any good television or movies for a while, but
yeah.
Go get your money.
All right, so Act 1 opens with a shot of the Enterprise orbiting M113. We get a captain's log and cut to inside what I'm guessing is where Professor Crater lives. Crater walks in, Kirk introduces himself, but before he can say McCoy's name, he's cut off with a line that tells you just about everything you need to know about his character. The heroic captain of the intrepid Doctor crossed interstellar space to preserve our health. Oh, your sense of duty is overwhelming. Now will you please go back where you came from and tell whoever issues your orders to leave me and my wife alone. Crater says that he wants Salt to deal with the heat, but nothing else. No exams, no Starfleet. But Kirk and McCoy aren't having it. They're doing this by the book. Kirk quotes a regulation. All research personnel on alien planets are required to have their health certified by a starship surgeon at 1-year intervals. And Crater comes back with another good line. To show your gold braid to everyone, you love it, don't you?
I gotta say, at what point is salt good for the heat?
I don't know. I'm not a scientist.
Like, even like Kirk and them should have been like, why do you need salt for the heat?
No, like, because later Kirk's like, we all know why you need salt on hot, arid planets. Like, we all know this. And you gotta remember, it's the 60s. They're basing this on the knowledge they have in the 60s. I'm sure there's a scientific reason why salt helps with heat.
I'm gonna Google that.
Okay,
while
Google
we're
that.
discussing.
Okay. I'm not saying I like Crater, but I do like the way he couldn't care less about Starfleet in this scene. Alright, he finally sits down for the exam and catches that the doctor's name is McCoy. Nancy used to know a Dr. McCoy. Yep, that's me. Didn't Nancy tell you? So now Crater's interested. You saw Nancy? Kirk, did you see Nancy? Yeah, why? No reason. I'm just glad she has company. I like isolation, but you know, women.
So, I did Google the salt thing, and it actually it restores electrolytes lost through sweating, and it also helps with heat cramps.
See?
I guess it's right.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, McCoy says it hasn't aged her. She still looks 25. Her hair not even gray. My hair was gray at 25.
I mean, my hair was gray at 12, so...
I mean, mine too. I just didn't want to say that. Then Kirk says, nah, she's gray. And Kurt is like, yeah, she's totally not a shapeshifter. I'm sure she'll be gray the next time you see her, McCoy. Then we hear Nancy scream.
Ah!
They run outside and see Nancy next to Darnell's dead body. McCoy points out red spots all over his face. Kirk starts to question Nancy, but Crater jumps in. Obviously, your crewman's an idiot and ate an alien plant. Kirk tells him to shut up. There's a man dead and he wants to know what happened. Nancy says that when she couldn't find her husband, she saw Darnell and was going to tell him she wasn't offended by the pleasure planet stuff, but before she could, he ate what she called a Borgia plant and died. McCoy says they can do some exams tomorrow. Crater's like, nah, just get out of here. Kirk calls Scotty to beam them up, but before they do, Nancy mentions wanting salt. So Scotty's heard on this communicator, but that's it. Scotty actually wasn't in the episode. That was just reused dialogue from a different episode.
I noticed that.
Yeah.
Oh. So I missed this earlier. At the very, very beginning, when Spock was on the bridge and was in command,
Yeah.
and Uhura, did I say that right?
Yeah.
That stuff right there was very awkward, especially whenever you realize, like, you see their relationship now in Strange New Worlds.
Yeah, but that didn't exist yet.
I know it didn't, but, like, that was a very awkward exchange. Like, even without knowing their relationship beforehand, like, that's a very awkward exchange.
Uhura was flirting.
Yeah, I don't know. That made me uncomfortable, and I don't know why.
Alright, they beam up, we get a shot of the Enterprise, and cuts to Spock and Uhura on the bridge, and Uhura's uniform is red now.
Yes,
We finally get that classic red uniform.
and it does look good. Like, it's a good red uniform.
Yep. Alright, Spock tells Uhura that she made a frequencies error, and Uhura says, Mr. Spock, sometimes I think if I hear the word frequency once more, I'll cry. Spock's confused by that, and Uhura says she's just trying to start a conversation. Spock thinks it's illogical. I'm an illogical woman who's beginning to feel too much a part of that communications console. Why don't you tell me I'm an attractive young lady, or ask me if I've ever been in love? Tell me how your planet Vulcan looks on a lazy evening when the moon is full. And we learn that Vulcan has no moon,
It doesn't?
according to Spock in this scene.
Huh. You know, I don't know. Everything I've ever seen of Vulcan's always been during the daytime, so...
There's an episode of Enterprise where it's like the Vulcan desert at night.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, Vulcan has no moon.
Vulcania.
So I have a question. Do you think the writers of the 2009 movie watched this scene and were inspired to write the Spock or her love interest part?
I think the writers of the 2009 series only watched this episode of Star Trek. And maybe The Cage. Like,
The Cage.
that's it. Like, that's all they watched.
I think the writers of the 2009 Star Trek watched Star Wars.
Didn't they create Star Wars?
No.
Or,
I mean, the director of the 2009 movie later went on to direct a couple Star Wars movies.
that weren't that good either.
Hey, Force Awakens was a good movie.
Oh, we're not getting into that.
Okay, you are full of crap. You know how many times I went over to your apartment and you put in the Force Awakens DVD? Multiple times. You liked that movie when it came out.
You know, okay.
But I will agree, the episode 9 that he also directed sucked.
So, Force Awakens is a good movie by itself.
I will agree. The sequel trilogy, I think, are 3 movies that work on their own, but as a trilogy, they do not work together.
And working with all the other Star Wars movies and everything in canon, they are terrible. Like, they destroy canon.
They do not.
Yes.
They do not.
Yes. It's kind of like the 2009 Star Trek episodes, movies.
Well, that doesn't destroy anything because it's an alternate timeline because time travel.
Right. But
I like to explain the 2009 movie timeline as like, have you ever seen Back to the Future 2? The world where Biff is rich and famous. It's that timeline.
so the 2009 movies are good by themselves. Like amazing movies. But they're terrible pieces of the Star Trek universe.
No, they're not.
Yeah.
No, they're not. You
Yeah.
are full of crap.
No. I'm going to fight
Well,
you.
you're wrong.
I'm going to fight you all day on this.
You're wrong.
Like, they're good movies.
They are good movies.
And they're
And-
they're amazing movies.
And it's good Star Trek. Like, the 2009 movie is great Star Trek.
No.
Yes.
If there was no other Star Trek anything, nothing existing besides the 2009 movie, or and the two after it, it would be amazing.
No, it is amazing.
But the fact that you have all this universe that is so much better, it makes the 2009 look terrible.
No, it doesn't. You're full of crap.
Yes.
You're telling me that this 60s garbage is better than the 2009 movie? No.
I'm not going to say the 60s garbage is better, but honestly, yes, it is better.
No, it's not.
There
It's
are-
different.
There are bits and pieces that are worse, but as a whole, it's better.
I don't often say this, but you are objectively wrong.
And you're objectively wrong.
No, I'm not.
Yeah.
It's good. Like, I feel like this happens with a lot of Star Trek fans. They say the 2009 is not my Star Trek. It's too action-packed and stuff. Star Trek has had action in it for long enough now that it is just as valid as, like, Data having a court case. Like, you can have Star Trek where you're talking about societal issues, and also have Star Trek where you have action. They're both valid.
Like, I'm not.
One is not greater than the other. It's all Star Trek.
And I'm not saying the movie's not good. I'm just saying that it's terrible Star Trek.
It's not terrible Star Trek.
Yes.
No, it's not.
Yes.
No, it's not.
Yes. It's
No.
just like the Mirror Universe.
Okay, well, first off, the majority of the fandom is going to fight you on that one because the Mirror Universe isn't terrible Star Trek.
It is.
No, it's not.
We talked about this off air, and
I get that you don't like it, but it's not terrible Star Trek. Just because you don't like something doesn't make it terrible.
Yes, I think the majority of the fandom will agree with me on the 2009 movie.
Yeah, you'll get a lot more support on the 2009 than you will the Mirror Universe.
No, I don't like the Mirror Universe. I'll be honest.
And that's fine, but that doesn't make it terrible Star Trek.
But I love the 2009 movie. I own all three of them on DVD and Blu-ray. Yeah, but yeah,
they're not terrible Star Trek. Now, if we were just talking about Into Darkness, while I like that movie, like, I feel like you'd have more of an argument there. And also, they made Con white, which isn't great.
Yeah, it's terrible.
I think it's funny that we've seen 3 versions of Khan in all of Star Trek, and only the most recent version that they actually cast an actor of the correct ethnicity.
Yeah.
Anyways, that was a tangent.
So wait, what are we even discussing anymore?
Let's get back to... We were talking about the Spock Uhura scene, and that got us onto the 2009 movie. Alright, Spock gets a call from the transporter room. The landing party's back and they report 1 death. Spock acknowledges and Uhura is shocked. Someone's dead and Spock's just sitting there? What if it's Kirk, the Captain Spock's only friend?
I don't like Spock in this episode.
Why?
He's very emotional. At the end, he's very emotional.
Is he?
He gets like really angry at the end.
I don't know about angry. I think at that point he's just trying to save the captain's life.
And
he gets aggressive at the end.
But then at the beginning, he's worse than Data about no emotions.
It could be worse. It could be him playing chess and where no man has gone before. One of your Earth emotions. What are those?
Yeah.
Alright, cut to sickbay. McCoy covers the body with a sheet. Neither Kirk or McCoy know what a Borgia plant is. Spock calls and tells us exactly what a Borgia plant is. Long story short, it's poison. Alkaloid poison to be specific. McCoy hears that and says he didn't need it then. He knows what alkaloid poison looks like, and there's none in his system. Not only that, aside from the red face, McCoy can't find anything wrong with him. All the tests say he should be able to walk away from that table.
So, they say that's in the Nightshade family?
Yeah.
I would not know what that meant.
I mean, based on the name, I would think, oh, poison.
I would not have known what that meant, except for Skyrim.
Alright. Then McCoy thinks this is a good time for him and his buddy Jim to talk about women. I swear she looked exactly like she did a decade ago, and Kirk's like, I don't care, we have a dead crewman, figure out what killed him, Doctor. And then we hear the words that McCoy only ever has to say to Kirk when things are very serious. Yes, sir. And that ends Act 1.
Dun, dun, dun.
Act 2 opens with a shot of the Enterprise orbiting the planet and a captain's log. On the bridge, Uhura gives Kirk a message from Commander Dominguez. He says they have supplies he urgently needs, and Kirk says, tell Jose he'll get his chili peppers when we get there. And that's racist.
Yeah, yeah, I wasn't gonna mention that.
I was, cause I'm gonna call them out on their crap. That's racist.
I mean, I'm Mexican too. That's yeah.
Be honest, David. I've known you for years, and I didn't know that.
Really?
Really?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
All right. Moving on.
Yeah.
Then Kirk goes to Spock, who says there's no mistake with their records. The only thing deadly about the Borgia plant is the alkaloid poison. So Kirk asks about the craters. Spock says they check out, made it to the planet 5 years ago, encountered several vessels, made large shipments of artifacts and reports, but there's been a significant drop in the last year. McCoy calls the bridge and says he's found something. Kirk and Spock enter the turbo lift. Cut to the medical scanner, and we zoom out to see Kirk, Spock, and McCoy standing around the corpse. Spock immediately sees what happened, and McCoy says it's so weird they didn't check the first time. Kirk Lost asks what they're talking about. McCoy and Spock then explain that he has no salt in his body. Kirk asks how that's possible. McCoy says he has no idea, but he'd die instantly from it. And Kirk says, but there's no marks on his body. McCoy then points out the red marks on his face, which leads to this exchange. You called that skin modeling. I thought it was, sir. Another error on my part. I'm not counting them bones. Which is Kirk's way of saying, we're cool. Then Kirk remembers that both Nancy and the professor made sure to ask for one thing. Salt tablets. Kirk orders Spock to get a landing party together, and we cut to the Crater residence. Crater's just acting really annoyed. You've got to have better things to do than to harass scientists and mess with our work. Kirk's like, yeah, I do. Now where's your wife? Crater's like, I don't know. Kirk orders Green to go find her. He's totally gonna survive this.
Yeah. No, it's not.
Kirk calls Spock on the communicator and orders Sturgeon to transport a sample of the plate to Spock so he can analyze it. Then Crater says, Captain, considering the inescapable fact that you're a trespasser on my planet, your complaint is noted, Kirk says. Crater does not have the authority he thinks he has. Kirk goes on to say that one of his men is dead and we don't know what did it. It could also be a danger to the craters. And he's like, but we've been here for 5 years. Surely we would have noticed if there was something here killing people. So Bones tells Crater that Darnell died of salt depletion, and Kirk points out that both of the craters asked for salt. Then the professor shows them how few salt tablets they have left. We're not being suspicious, we just need salt. Kirk then says that the professor and Mrs. Crater will have to beam up to the Enterprise for their own protection. Kirk calls Spock on the communicator, and while their backs are turned, Crater bails out of there. Crater finds Sturgeon's dead body, then starts yelling for Nancy, who we see is next to Green's dead body. Crater's yelling, I have salt, smell it, and runs off trying to lure Nancy towards him. Kirk and McCoy show up screaming for Crater when McCoy sees Sturgeon, so then they start yelling for Green, worried that something might happen to him. Nancy hears the yelling and transforms into Green. So Green shows up and says that he found Sturgeon's body and went looking for whatever killed him. Also, that he searched all over the ruins and couldn't find Nancy. Kirk orders them to beam aboard the ship, and McCoy freaks out. We can't leave her here. And Kirk tells McCoy to be more like Spock and stop thinking with his glands.
Yeah.
And the three of them beam up. That's a fun line. Stop thinking with your glands.
Yeah.
We get a shot of the Enterprise and cut to the transporter room. Kirk calls Spock and orders him to scan for the craters. Tells the transporter tech that there's a body that needs to be beamed aboard. He tells McCoy to take a nap. Kirk goes to the bridge and...
Pause for effect.
Don't say that. When I'm editing, I'm going to think there actually needs to go there.
I'm going to make you think there is.
Alright, Kirk goes to the bridge, and Green, left wandering around the hallway, sees Rand with a tray of food with salt on it. She slaps him for trying to grab it and gets onto a turbo lift. Green weirdly jumps in while the doors are closing.
So, this actress who plays this human, she gets the bad rap.
She does. She is good at it, though.
Like, this guy's gonna try to rape her again, and
No, he's not.
he's getting creepy, and
He is getting creepy.
and looks
He just wants salt.
and looks like he's going to.
Cut to the bridge. Spock tells Kirk there's only one life site on the planet, and Kirk says to explain the search area. Cut to a hallway. Rand and Green get off the turbo lift, and Rand tells him to go chase an asteroid. You go, Rand.
I think that should be our next merch line.
Go chase an asteroid.
Go chase an asteroid.
Put that on a t-shirt.
I think that'd be an easy one to do.
That would be an easy one to do, and Paramount wouldn't take this one off the store.
And put an asteroid on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be good.
I'll look into doing that.
We could sell like 5 million of those.
Go chase an asteroid. Alright. Then a red shirt and a blue shirt start ogling her and as she walks away, because it's the 60s, and of course that's what happens. The red shirt kind of looks like what if Seth MacFarlane was in Star Trek.
Yeah. I mean,
and yes, I know Seth MacFarlane was actually in Star Trek.
I mean, we already kind of see that because he has a whole show parodied off of.
Yeah, also he was in an episode or two of Enterprise.
Was he?
Yeah.
What did he play?
He was a red shirt.
Season 4?
Yeah.
That would be season
4.
I'm gonna have to look that up.
Yeah.
I gotta watch that.
Yeah, he was an engineer on the Columbia.
Huh. I did not know that.
Yep.
I know what I'm watching tonight.
Rand walks into the Botany Bay.
Oh, you know I'm gonna say it. You know I'm gonna say it.
I was just hoping you'd get that reference.
No, you know. Wrath of Khan.
Yes.
Is not one of my favorite movies.
And that's fine. I was just trying to make a fun reference.
The 2009 movie is my favorite Star Trek movie. I'm joking. Hey,
I was fun with that. It's a good movie. That movie got me into Star Trek. Without that movie, this podcast don't exist.
I'm joking about that, by the way. But I don't like Wrath of Khan.
It's a good movie. I'm fine with you not liking it. But it's a good movie.
So,
also, the message is about getting old, and we're not like old farts yet, so like it's the same message of Picard season 3, getting old. Go ahead.
What I am saying is just like the dog. Why a hand out of everything? Why did they make a flower out of a hand?
Because it was the 60s and they didn't have the animatronics or the CGI we got now.
And did you watch both editions?
I did.
Is one more hand-like than the other?
I don't think so. I think it's just a hand both times.
Because, like, I remember...
With the remastered, like, the special editions, most of, like, the changes are to, like, the effects on, like, the ship and, like, the planets and stuff like that.
Like, I remember the first time I watched this was more, like, you could tell it was a hand for sure.
Yeah, it is very clearly a guy with, like, a glove on.
Like, I mean, like, fingers apart and everything. Like,
yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yeah. So Rand walks into the botany lab, which is really just sickbay with a bunch of plants in there.
Yeah, I noticed that.
I didn't. I just noticed. I just read that in my research.
It's Pike's Kitchen. Yeah.
Pike's Kitchen. We need to make that a shirt.
It's actually the other half of Sick Bay from Strange New Worlds.
So Rand walks in and gives Sulu his tray of food, and Sulu says, "May the great bird of the galaxy bless your planet." Which is interesting because the great bird of the galaxy is a nickname that fans of Star Trek gave Gene Roddenberry. I guess this is where that came from.
Yeah.
I found that interesting.
Okay.
What?
I'm going to say it. Why is Sulu in there?
Because Sulu's into botany.
But, so he's a botanist?
He's really into botany. That's just a Sulu character trait now.
But then, at the end of this episode, he's on the bridge he's in the engineering spot. I don't know what he's doing, but he's in the engineering spot. Because I know the botany doesn't have a spot on the bridge.
Wait, you said Sulu's in the engineering spot?
Yeah.
When?
At the end.
Pretty sure he's at the helm.
No. He's setting, because it's a different camera angle. You see Uhura.
Okay.
The door.
Okay.
And then the engineering spot, and Sulu's setting at the engineering spot.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't notice that.
Yeah, I was like, What's Sulu doing? Like, is he a botanist or is he an engineer? Is he the navigator or
He's the helmsman, and he's just
helmsman?
also into botany.
An engineer,
In next
engineering?
week's episode, you'll notice there's a line because someone's like, "This week you're trying to get me into fencing. Last week you were trying to get me into botany." Like, so like it's a canon character trait. Sulu likes botany,
But then he was the head of astrophysics a few weeks ago,
astrosciences
or
in the pilot.
astroscience. Yeah,
We don't talk about that.
just saying. I'm just saying.
No, I get it. I get it.
Is he like the master of all?
He's like he's a jack of all trades
That's why he was captain really fast.
because he did everything.
Because he did everything. He was a captain.
I mean, was it really fast? Because like by the time we get to that sixth movie, they've been in Starfleet for a while.
But it's a lot faster than a lot of the other ones. Chekhov never became a captain. Scotty didn't become a captain.
He did. He didn't get command of a ship, but he did have the rank of captain a lot earlier than Sulu did.
Yeah,
he was promoted in the third one, Search for Spock, to captain.
Was Uhura captain ever?
Nah, not in the movies. In the movies, basically, Kirk, Spock, Scotty, and Sulu were captains by the end of it, and everyone else was a commander.
At least he doesn't have a fancy tea set yet.
Rand walks over to a plant she calls Beauregard. Sulu says her name is Gertrude, and Rand's like, nah, his name's Beauregard. Beauregard is clearly just a dude with a hand with a flowery glove on it.
Sorry, I missed. I went.
No, you're fine. Like, that's how this works.
I think that's happened like 4 times this week.
Green then finds the botany lab. He walks up to Sulu creepily and doesn't say anything. Rand asks if he's been nipping on Saurian brandy, which is the same drink that Evil Kirk was chugging last week before he tried to assault Rand. That I noticed. Then the hand plant starts freaking out and Green runs away. Grace Lee Whitney considers the Arboretum scene of Rand and Sulu as one of her favorite scenes in the series, which that's nice. It's nice to hear some positive things about Rand and Grace Lee Whitney in an episode,
Yeah,
especially after last week.
and the beginning of this week. This creepy stalker,
Oh.
like 5 seconds before the scene.
Cut to a hallway, Uhura gets out of a turbo lift and asks an engineer if he can take a look at the door of her quarters. Green sees her and turns into a non-existent crewman, just an image it got from her brain, I guess. Uhura walks up to the salt vampire and says, "Crewman, do I know you?" And he starts flirting with her. They both speak in Swahili. It's a nice moment until it gets scary. She's backed against a wall, and the crewman is about to put his hands around her neck till Rand and Sulu leave the botany lab, and Uhura uses the distraction to run to the turbo lift with them. Cut to McCoy's quarters. He can't sleep, so he calls Kirk. Kirk says they haven't found Nancy, and then tells McCoy that he should take one of those red pills he gave Kirk last week. Kirk's not a doctor. He really shouldn't be prescribing drugs. I'm just saying.
We get to a hallway where the salt vampire sees a guy in a big hazard vest and starts following him. Cut to the bridge, and Spock says either our scanners are broken or there's one person down there. And Kirk says, okay, we're going down there. Cut to outside of McCoy's quarters. The salt vampire turns into Nancy right before he opens the door. McCoy rushes her inside. He wonders why Jim didn't say anything. Nancy starts to talk about how strong McCoy's feelings are for Nancy. McCoy's like, but you're married. And then Nancy convinces him to take the sleeping pills.
What is up with her rubbing his chin? Did you notice that?
I didn't.
Like when he was in, it might be after this, but like when he was laying in the bed and she was holding him, she was like this, stroking his chin.
Oh, yeah. And then she like licks her fingers. It's like she's tasting the salt.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm hungry. Yeah. We cut to a hallway where we see the hazard vest guy dead. Rand and Sulu around the corner see him, and Sulu calls for a medical team, and that's where Act 2 ends.
Sulu actually was the first one to actually call for someone before something else happened. Every other person in all of the episodes we've seen so far, they've just started doing some, like, not calling someone. Like, they're just like, oh, let's take them to sick bay. Let's do this. Like he's actually like calling the bridge, calling medical.
You ever notice that McCoy like never like does CPR, try to save anyone? He's always just like, he's dead, Jim.
Yeah, I know.
Act 3 opens with a shot of the Enterprise orbiting the planet and a captain's log. Captain's log, stardate 1513.8. I am now certain that the violent death of my crewman was caused by some strange life form. In McCoy's quarters, we see Nancy putting the doctor to bed, while her can be heard over the speakers issuing a medical department alert and calling Dr. McCoy to the bridge. Nancy turns into Dr. McCoy and heads to the bridge. We get another shot of the Enterprise and another captain's log. Captain's log additional. Armed and able-bodied crewmen are not attacked and slaughtered this easily. Apparently, the killer can immobilize them as it approaches, perhaps with some hypnotic or paralyzing power. The answer lies with Professor Crater. On the planet's surface, Kirk and Spock find Professor Crater, who is armed with one of those old phasers from the pilot. I like those old phasers.
Yeah, they're pretty cool.
You know what they should have done? They should have made the Strange New Worlds phasers like look like the old phasers, but like new.
Yeah.
That would have been fun.
Yeah, that would have.
And he's screaming for them to go away, and Kirk repeatedly asks, "Where's your wife?" because they're concerned about her. Sulu calls Kirk on the communicator and tells him that Barnhart's dead, the hazard vest guy.
Okay.
And Spock finds crewman Green's body. Kirk calls Sulu and tells him that Green's an imposter and orders a ship-wide search. Crater starts shooting while Kirk and Spock are having to duck and cover. Kirk observes that Crater's just trying to scare them and doing a good job. We get a quick shot of McCoy passed out in his room. Fake Bones enters the bridge where Sulu, Uhura, and Rand are running the search. Rand's weirded out that the thing was following her. Sulu deduces that the guy Uhura saw in the hall was the thing, and fake McCoy calls it a creature, then corrects himself, or whatever's killing the men.
Right.
Because it was like, creature?
Yeah. I think Sulu at that point was like, pretty sure you're the monster.
I don't think so.
Agree to disagree.
Back on the planet, Kirk and Spock are both in position. Spock yells at Crater so Kirk can sneak up on him and stun him. Kirk then starts questioning about his wife. Being stunned causes Crater's voice to do this like weird, like deep, like warbling thing. A thing that'll never again be done in Star Trek. Crater starts going on about how the creature is the last of its kind, comparing it to the buffalo. Eventually, Crater admits that the creature killed his wife. Kirk calls Sulu to let him know that the creature could be anybody. And that's the end of Act 3.
Act 3.
These acts are going faster now.
Yeah. I mean, there's really not much to talk about in them.
Maybe it's just my notes too.
Yeah.
I made these notes late. David, I want you to guess how Act 4 starts.
Okay. Act 4. McCoy in his bed.
No, it starts with a shot of the Enterprise and a captain's log.
Oh. Yeah. Did you think I was going to get that?
Yes, I did.
Yeah. I'm a little slow.
Captain's log continuing. The Enterprise has been invaded by a creature capable of assuming any form with the capacity to paralyze and draw the life from any one of us. In the conference room, we have Kirk, Spock, the creature pretending to be McCoy, Uhura, Rand, and Crater. Although I did skip, I do think after the captain's log it cut to McCoy in his bed. I just didn't put that in my notes because it wasn't important.
I think my brain just kind of skips the captain's log and the shot of the Enterprise. I'll be honest with you.
In the conference room, we have Kirk, Spock, the creature pretending to be McCoy, Uhura, Rand, and Crater. Uhura starts off by saying she's gone through every crew member on the ship and the guy she saw doesn't exist. Kirk asks Rand how long Green was following her. She says as long as it thought it could get to the salt. Spock tells us they've set up salt traps all over the ship, and then we get to McCoy.
I love McCoy's part right here. He says, why not just give him salt? Like, just put salt out with no trap or trick. Or
Yeah.
At that point, it's like, dude, we know you. We know it's you.
Yeah, McCoy thinks they should just give the creatures assault without using tricks, and Crater joins in. They're both making the case that it's an intelligent creature just trying to survive. Which, they're not wrong.
Yeah, they're not wrong. I think they should have just gave it salt and put it back on the planet.
Yeah, I kind of agree with them. Kirk is way too casual about eradicating a sentient species.
Yeah.
Way too casual. This wouldn't fly in Next Generation.
No. But, I mean, also, Next Generation crew is a heck of a lot better.
Yeah, by the time they were writing that, Gene Roddenberry was buying into his own hype. So that's why Next Generation is so optimistic.
What do you mean by that? Just
I mean, after original series, like, a lot of people were, like, writing articles like, Gene Roddenberry made this future utopian society, and it's so great. And by the time he made Next Generation, like, he'd been reading those articles. He was buying into his own hype. That's why, like, there was a rule on Next Generation, like, the characters aren't allowed to, like, not get along and disagree.
Huh.
Which is where most story of most series comes from. But, like, in that show, like, nope, all the conflict has to come from outside. It can't be within the crew. Like, that was, like, a rule because we're a utopian society now. So, I'm just saying, by Next Generation, he was buying into his own hype.
Huh. So that's what made Deep Space Nine good, right?
Yeah, it made it more interesting because you had people on the main cast who weren't Federation, so you could have conflict within your crew. At the beginning of Voyager, I feel like they did a bit of the same.
Right.
Yeah, because you had, like, the Starfleet and the Maquis, but, like, very fast it just became, nope, we're all Starfleet now. Except for Seska.
Well, and then later on, I think it was, like, season 4, season 5. It was after Seven had joined. They found the Hollow program.
Oh, yeah, the Seska's Hollow thing. That was a good episode.
It started as Tuvok.
Yeah, it's Tuvok's program that Seska, like, reprogrammed to, like, try to kill Tuvok.
Yeah.
That was a fun episode.
And then they all started kind of being like, oh, I'm Maquis and I'm Federation, and yeah.
Then Sulu calls in and gives us a report. I think this is the first time we see that triangular screen thing in the conference room.
Yeah.
I wanted to point it out because I think it's an incredibly smart design from a production standpoint because it has three sides, and so, like, the audience can see the actors in the room looking at the screen and what's on the screen in the same shot. So it's just a good design.
Yeah.
Kirk tells Crater you're going to help us whether you like it or not, and Crater's just like, look, I repeatedly told you to get out of here. You idiots didn't listen. Kirk accuses him of living this fantasy where the creature just turns into any woman he wants, and that's why he won't help, and I think Kirk's way out of line here. I don't think that's what he's doing.
Right.
I just think he's trying to preserve the species.
You know, I that's what I was thinking until later on, and I'll get to that whenever we get to it.
Alright. Spock recommends they use truth serum, and I say there is no way that is an actual thing that exists in Star Trek. They don't have truth serum.
Right.
That is crap. You know how many times they could have used truth serum throughout the entire franchise that they didn't? I'm saying it's not a thing.
Yeah, that's where I think they are pretty sure that Dr. McCoy is not real, and they're just making up something.
I don't think so, because I think if that was the case, that Kirk also would have caught on, but Kirk didn't.
Well,
Right now, it's still just Spock.
Well, if you would have looked, if you would have watched, Kirk and Spock kept, like, making an eye contact. That was like just play along with it.
You might be right. That does actually sound a lot like something Kirk and Spock would do.
Like, I caught on to that, and I was like, they know.
Okay. Well, Spock definitely knows.
Yeah.
But yeah,
But not
you might be right about Kirk. So McCoy takes Crater to administer the truth serum. Spock goes with because he's suspicious of McCoy. Next scene, we see Spock laid out in sickbay because, yeah, McCoy's not McCoy. Rand finds Crater's dead body on the next room, and Kirk's like, but Spock, why aren't you dead? And Spock says, fortunately, my ancestors spawned in a different ocean than yours did. My blood cells are quite different. Hey, Spock, you're half human. Does anyone else find it really weird that the majority of Spock's genetics seem to come from his father, not his mother, the woman who gave birth to him?
I wasn't going to mention that part, the most obvious part. I was going to mention that in Next Generation,
I don't know. Say what you're gonna say.
I think it's Next Generation, that they actually find the planet and everything where all the species actually come from, even like
Oh yeah,
humans, Vulcans, Romulans, Klingons.
yeah, and they find that being that looks a lot like a changeling, but changelings weren't things yet.
Right. Yeah.
I always thought it'd be funny, like made the joke, have that just be Jeffrey Combs. That's why every alien looks like Jeffrey Combs instead of a changeling. That's a fan edit I want to do. Just edit Jeffrey Combs into that scene.
Did you notice that in the medical bay when Spock's talking about that, like when they first walk in, that they're scanning him with a hockey stick?
I didn't notice.
I mean, it's dressed up to look kind of futuristic, but it's a freaking hockey stick.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Fake McCoy runs into real McCoy's quarters and turns into Nancy. Nancy wakes McCoy up, acting frightened. They're trying to kill me. Kirk walks in, phaser in hand, and acts like a lunatic. Move aside, Bones. Let me shoot her. I know that's your ex, and you love her, and I'm not going to give you any evidence that I'm right, but that's not Nancy. Just let me shoot her.
No, he did give him evidence.
No, he just kept saying things that were correct, but like from an outsider's perspective, it looks like Kirk's crazy.
He said, "Look, I have salt tablets. She wants salt."
Well, that's not evidence.
And then if you watched, like, she was trying to go for the salt.
Yes, if you watch from our perspective, not from McCoy's perspective. From McCoy's perspective, he's just between them trying to like save Nancy from Kirk crazily trying to shoot her. I'm just saying from McCoy's perspective, like Kirk's acting crazy.
Okay.
Kirk and McCoy fight over the phaser. McCoy gets it, but is pushed to the other side of the room. Nancy starts to de-salt Kirk. Spock walks in and starts yelling at McCoy to shoot the thing and breaks Kirk and Nancy apart and then starts punching her. Could Nancy take this, Doctor?
He just keeps hollering at us. These
bam, bam, bam. She knocks Spock across the room, then turns full salt vampire and goes for Kirk again. McCoy shoots it, but it doesn't die. It turns into Nancy and begs for its life, and McCoy shoots it again, killing it. It's an intense scene.
So, going back to the very, very beginning, when we were discussing how this changes shape.
Okay.
How does this scene play out? Like, how does this work in the telepathic?
I think it has to turn back into its natural state to de-salt people.
Right. But how is it able to change? Like, I mean, like, I'm assuming, like, McCoy figured out that it wasn't Nancy. So, this, not spell, but the deal was broken, pretty much.
I don't think so. I think it just, like, stopped doing the thing so that it could eat Kirk.
And then it became Nancy again.
And then it turned back into Nancy to try to get McCoy to not shoot it.
I don't know. I think that's a lot of hard work for them to try to do. I don't know. I think it's a plot hole. It could be a plot hole.
I don't think it's a plot hole.
Yeah. I don't know.
It makes sense.
Unless you think about it too hard, and then it doesn't make sense.
I was just trying to appeal to, like, McCoy's love for Nancy.
Yeah.
Like, it knew McCoy knew.
If you just watch it, it makes perfect sense.
It does make sense. All right, cut to a shot of the Enterprise orbiting the planet.
I am shocked. I did not know they were on the Enterprise. I thought they were on Voyager.
But this shot's like from above looking down on the Enterprise, so it actually looks cool and interesting. It's different. It's a different shot. Sulu's ready to leave. Kirk doesn't give the command, so Spock asks if there's something wrong, and Kirk says, I was just thinking about the buffalo. Then you shouldn't have killed it, Kirk.
So, going to the buffalo, are they saying the buffalo are extinct by then?
Yes. I mean, in Star Trek 4, they said whales were extinct.
I mean, honestly, that might actually be a possibility, but I find it interesting because in the 60s, the buffaloes were pretty close to being extinct.
Yeah.
And now they're actually talking about taking it off the endangered species list.
Star Trek worked, did its job.
Yeah.
All right, but then he gives Sulu the order, they warp out of there, and that ends the episode. So, I wanted to ask you, what do you think about this being the first episode of Star Trek?
It was good.
Do you think it was a good first episode?
Yeah.
I think so too, because outside of Scotty not being in it, everyone's in it, and everyone actually has something to do. Like, Rand has some good scenes. Uhura has some good scenes. Sulu has some good scenes. Like, it's mainly a McCoy episode, and yeah, like, everyone aside from just like the main guys have something to do, and I liked that.
Like, honestly, if I would have seen this episode first, I probably would have been a Trekkie in the 60s. If I would have seen not the Cage, but the other one, the first episode, I probably would not have been a Trekkie in the 60s. That being said, discussing it, I'm going to go ahead and rate it on the Bailey scale.
The Bailey scale.
10 being the best, 1 being the worst.
Okay.
I'm going to say I give it 5 Baileys.
Okay.
It could be better, but it could be worse. And I'm going to rank it 805 out of all the Star Treks.
That's really low. I thought you liked the episode.
I do. But if you're talking, there's almost 900 episodes, and it's in the original series, so it's not going to rank any.
You want to know the ultimate flaw with your whole ranking out of all 900 scale?
What?
Because you're just throwing out a random number. It doesn't tell anyone what you actually think of the episode.
No, it does.
It doesn't.
There is. So, I'll be honest. It's original series. It's not going to make past 800. Like, that's how much I don't like the original series. Like, the last 100 are saved for the original series and the animated series. So, but it's ranked high in the original series. Yeah.
Honestly, I just think all ranking systems are stupid. That's why I don't do it.
I'm not going to lie. The top 100 are the majority of them are going to be Lower Decks episodes.
There's not even that many Lower Decks episodes.
I mean, there will be by the time we get to Lower Decks.
Maybe, if they don't cancel it.
They better not, or I will go to California and I will have strong words with the Paramount people.
Like the writers and actors are right now.
Yes. Yes. What'd you think of it?
I thought it was good. I thought it was a good choice for the first episode. Like I said, everyone has something to do, and I like that. Aside from Scotty not being in it. And Chapel doesn't exist yet, so that doesn't count.
Right.
So yeah, it was a good first episode.
I don't know. I kind of miss Chapel.
She'll show up in the next one.
Which, the next one, is that Charlie X?
No, that's the Naked Time.
Oh, the Naked Time.
It's the one where everyone acts drunk and Sulu fences shirtless.
And then is Charlie X next after that?
I don't know, maybe.
Because I don't like either one of those.
All right, and now it's time for the red shirt death count.
Dun, dun, dun.
All right, so far in the series overall, we've had 2 beige shirts die, who,
Yes.
as we established earlier in the podcast, those count as red shirt deaths. So 2. We've
Yes.
had 3 blue shirts die. We've had 1 gold shirt die. We've had 1 guy in a hazard vest die. And we've had 7 crewmen die overall.
In this episode alone.
No, in the series
Oh, okay.
overall.
So 5 in this episode.
In this episode, 2 blue shirts, 1 gold, 1 black, 4.
4. Okay.
And still no red shirts.
That makes me mad. I'm not going to lie.
I thought about like whether or not we count the hazard vest guy as a red shirt because, yeah, he's probably an engineer or something, but then I thought, they could have put him in a red shirt, so no, he doesn't count.
And he might not actually be a commissioned officer. He could just be a contract laborer.
Well, yeah, but like non-commissioned officers like crewmen are still like in red shirts. Like O'Brien, for example.
But that's 100 years later.
Yeah, but it's also in this. Like, a lot of crewmen who are non-commissioned officers on the original series are still just wearing the gold, blue, and red.
Huh.
It's a thing.
Okay.
Okay. Anything else to say, David?
I don't know. Maybe we should count them as red shirts.
Just to get another mark on the board.
Yes, just to get a mark on the board.
Nah. All right. Join us next week as we talk about The Naked Time. You can find me everywhere at Couch Talks Movies, and if you can't, drop the S in movies. David, tell the people where they can find you.
I am on TikTok under Commodore Moss, or my name, David Moss. I don't know, whichever one pops up. It's me. It's me talking into the microphone for the podcast. The picture is.
Okay.
Yeah, Couch was glaring at me, so I was like...
I wasn't glaring.
Also, don't we have some news about a site?
Okay, you can find the show at Tomorrow Trek Pod on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and you can find us at patreon.com/tomorrowisyesterday, where you can check out us reviewing all of Strange New World Season 2. Eventually, we're still trying to catch up on that, but yeah, we do other stuff there. We put a lot of other stuff over there, so like check it out. And as David was mentioning, we have a merch store now.
Woo.
We got a couple things up there you can buy. Tomorrow is yesterday hat, and we got a shirt or two. No, just one. We have one shirt up that you can buy. You can find that at couchtheaters.com. Why do I own that URL? That's a long story, but that's the only one I own right now, and it's easy to type, so go to that site to see our merch store.
Yes, go. And stuff will be added. Not daily. Definitely
Yeah,
not daily.
we're working on some more designs, but yeah, a couple things right now. We're working on getting some more stuff. So go get it before Paramount takes it down.
So live long and don't be a salt vampire.
Live long and don't be a salt vampire. All right.
See ya.